Hello student, today we will discuss mechanical properties of fluid. In this part we will discuss viscosity, Stokes law, terminal velocity, critical velocity, streamline and turbulent flow. This one, viscosity. First of all we take viscosity. Viscosity. Viscosity is the property of fluid that resists the force tending to cause the fluid flow. It's just like the friction in solids, and here we can say the friction between the layers of the fluid. So viscosity is the property of a fluid that resists the force tending to cause the fluid to flow. It analogous to friction in solid. Yeah. Example, consider two glass, one filled with water and other filled with honey. Water will flow down the glass very rapidly, whereas honey would not. This is because honey is more viscous than water. Have you also seen the milk or water? Milk is more viscous than the water. Therefore, in order to make honey flow, we need to apply greater amount of force, because honey has the property to resist the motion or between the layers of the fluid. Yeah. Viscosity comes into play when there is a relative motion between the layers of the fluid. The different layers are not moving at the same space. You have also see in the reverse the uppermost layer. It is a diagram of the river flow. It's a uppermost layer. It's a down, and this one at the bottom. This one. The speed of the uppermost layer is more than the bottom layer. So it is a friction that it pulled into backward direction. This force is known as friction force or drag or viscosity. This property, it's a property V, and its property V plus delta V. It is, we can say, it's a layer 1, layer 2. Layer 1 is the velocity, it delta V more than the second. So we can say the viscosity is the property that resists the force tending to cause the fluid flow. That one, yeah, this one, that force. So next one, we find out the coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity is measure the degree to which a fluid flow resists flow under the applied force. Yeah, this means how much resistance does a fluid have to its motion. Ratio of shearing stress to the strain. It is denoted by eta. That is mathematically delta t time displacement delta dx. Suppose these are the layers of the liquid. This one. It is the uppermost layer. The force F is applied in the left to right direction, and the particles move with the velocity v. Yeah. Suppose the particle move from B to E. This one, it travel a distance delta v into delta t. That is delta t time delta day x. Therefore, shearing stress we can say delta x upon L, where L is the strain rate, that is delta x upon L into delta t. And is shearing strain eta. Eta is the shearing strain, that is F upon A. It is, we can take it from stress upon strain, that is shearing strain, and this one shearing strain. So F upon A delta x into delta t, FL into V into A. This L delta L and A will become volume, and where delta x upon t equals to V, that is the velocity. Therefore, eta equal to FL upon VA. Unit of coefficient of viscosity Poiseuille, Poiseuille, Pascal or Newton second meter square. That's the dimension formula of this ml minus 1 t minus 1. Now it's a conclude that a layer of liquid of sandwich between two parallel glass plate is which the lower plate is fixed and the upper one is moving to the right with velocity v. Velocity distribution of flow a pipe, this one. It was a coefficient of viscosity. Next topic is Stokes law. This one states that the force that retards a sphere moving along a viscous fluid is directly proportional to the velocity and the radius of the sphere and the viscosity of the fluid. That is F proportional to coefficient of viscosity, and viscosity F proportional to radius of the sphere, F proportional to velocity by which a fluid is flow. When we combine these, we get this one experiment. Yeah, 6 pi is a constant. Stokes law is applicable only to laminar flow of liquid. In next topic we will discuss laminar flow. It is not applicable to turbulent flow. It's an example: falling raindrops. Consider a single raindrop. When raindrop is falling, it is passing through air. Suppose this one. This one, it experiences two force, upward direction and inward direction. The air has come, it's air, direction of air. The air has some velocity, there will be some force which will try to stop the motion of the drop. It behave like a liquid resistance, fluid resistance. The motion of the raindrop. Initially the raindrop accelerates, but after some time it falls with constant velocity. As the velocity increases, the retarding force also increases. Therefore, there will be viscous force Fv and bind force Fb acting the upward force. Upward force, this one. And the force Fg, this one, Fg, gravitational force. This gravitational force acting downward. After some time, when Fg will be equivalent to Fr Fv plus Fb. Yeah. Net force is 0 if force 0 as the resultant acceleration also becomes 0 and the rain drop with falling with a uniform velocity, no acceleration. This one the Stokes law. Terminal velocity. Terminal velocity is the maximum velocity of a body moving through a viscous liquid. Yeah, it is denoted by Vt, where Vt is terminal velocity. Mathematically, terminal velocity at attendant force F resistance, that is viscous force, equal to force due to gravitation force of attraction, that is F equal to 6 pi eta RV, gravitational force equal to mg. M is the density into velocity, volume, sorry, because density equals to mass per unit volume. Density rho minus sigma, where rho is the and sigma the density of the sphere and the viscous medium respectively. 6 pi eta RV equal to then become equal to rho minus sigma into 4 by 3 pi r cube g, where volume of the sphere V equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. On simplifying, Vt equal to 2 r square rho minus sigma g upon 9 eta. This is the terminal velocity. This one, the ball falling downward direction, it experiences a force Fg in downward direction and retarding force, this one, it's also known as viscous force. Sigma is the density of the medium of the fluid, it may be air or sigma is the and rho is the density of the sphere. It's a streamline or fluid flow. The flow of fluid is said to be steady if at any point the velocity of each passing fluid particles remains constant within the interval of time. Streamline is the path followed by the fluid particle. It means that at any particular instant the velocity of particles at any point are same, but the velocity of all the particles would not be same across all the points in space. Steady flow is term also known as streamline flow or laminar flow. On the basis of a streamline flow, equation of continuity said that according to equation of continuity, AB equal to constant, that is area of cross section and volume of the tube equal to constant. It means when a ideal fluid pass through any non-uniform tube, then the velocity of the tube, velocity of the fluid and the area of cross section at any point will be a constant. That is, it means that liquid flowing in the streamline flow in a pipe of non-uniform cross section area, then ratio of the fluid liquid across any cross section remains constant, and it is the turbulent flow. A fluid flow is said to be turbulent if the velocity of the particle vary at any point erratically. This means fluid particles are moving and here and there, they are not moving in organized manner. They will have different velocity. Eddies are generated by this flow. Eddies are the same as ripples. All the particles are moving here and there randomly. This is the turbulent flow and this one is streamline flow. This is the example of streamline and the flow. We can find out the flow of liquid is streamlined or turbulent by a number known as Reynolds number. Reynolds number, a dimensionless number whose value gives an idea whether the flow of liquid turbulent or laminar. It's a formula of the Reynolds number R equal to rho V d upon eta. Eta means rho equal density of the fluid, V the velocity of the fluid, d the diameter of the pipe through which the fluid flow, eta is the viscosity of the fluid. So how does Reynolds number distinguish laminar flow or turbulent flow? If the value of the Reynolds number reaches 1000, then the flow is laminar. When the value of Reynolds number is greater than 2000, then the flow of turbulent will be turbulent. If the value of R is between 1000 and 2000, then the flow is unstable. The flow is in intermediate stage, also known as. At this state, it has characteristics of laminar flow and some of turbulent flow. This one the Reynolds number. Thank you. I think you will be understand between difference between the laminar flow and turbulent flow. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you.